Hello friends, and welcome to the Lovely Place channel. The channel that's like a box of chocolates because you never know what you're going to get. Today's film is a review of the Hewlet Packard 2710E Desk Jet printer, but it's also a review of the classic design faults of printers in general, which makes them so tiresome and unsatisfying to use. It's the second review of this printer by Lovely Place because after posting the first video, Lovely Place went off the rails a little and decided to hire a puppet.
That's me.
To represent them. Complaining about things or raising concerns that no one ever listens to can make a person a little paranoid. In the first printer review, Lovely Place might have mentioned that in the end they took their personal printing issues to their place of work and used the work printer instead. Having just recently joined the organisation and having refreshed themselves with company policy, they realised that using company printers for personal use in work time might constitute a sackable offence. And having been there, done that, got the t-shirt, so to speak, they decided to go anonymous for this film.
I have to say, I wasn't their first choice, but Lovely Place doesn't have money.
But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
Wait, sorry, wrong film. What makes me a good presenter for the Lovely Place channel is my very obvious attributes. I'm non-gender specific.
I can change my voice.
I appeal to all ages and am, indeed, pretty ageless myself. I'm always on hand. And most of all, I work for free. So, now that we've addressed the elephant in the room, let's get on with the printer review.
This review was prompted by the complete failure of Lovely Place to set up the printer in the first time around. They were then bombarded with emails from Hewlet Packard asking for feedback on the product. If there's one thing more annoying about getting something you can't make work, it's probably being forced to give it a star rating afterwards. Gone are the days when you can just buy something out of want, need or necessity. Now, my friends, you can't buy anything without providing all sorts of personal information. Your email, your phone number, your address, location, postcode. Do not be fooled that it's so they can send you an electronic receipt. They want your personal details so they can target you to buy more of their stuff. And they wonder why it's so easy for people to be hacked. But I digress. Let's get back to the printer. This printer was purchased over a year ago and never taken out of its box because a friend had warned that what kills printers is dried out ink, and therefore not to use the printer until you're ready to make it work. What killed the last printer, which also happened to be a Hewlet Packard model, was the paper stopped feeding in smoothly, and because these machines are made to be unrepairable, you can't just open it up and get to the insides to remove the blockage. What made it more annoying was the immediately prior unrefundable bulk purchase of printer cartridges. They're gathering dust in the bedroom. The first thing you notice about this printer is the flex to the plug is too short. As it's supposedly wireless, the printer has to be near your router, at least at first, but there again, so does probably everything else you have in your house. So you'll probably end up resorting to an extension lead, which would get as tangled as a longer flex in the first place for the machine would have done. The packaging inside the box seems to be as environmentally friendly as possible. Paper mache padding and a shrink-wrapped printer, so that's fine. On taking it out, there are some handbooks in multiple languages, which make you think that it's going to be a simple setup. Just plug it in and go. Sadly, no. To set up this printer, you must prime it with paper and put in the ink cartridges, then turn it on and it suddenly starts printing, using up your paper and your ink, but not printing what you asked it to. Just a load of instructions that you only get if you press 2 buttons at once and hold them. The problem is that it wants more personal information, your internet provider and your passwords. We tried, honestly we tried, but the more we tried, the more instructions it printed out, using up the ink and the paper. We needed to print what we wanted to print without actually printing it. Our laptop could locate the printer and even sent instructions to print what we wanted, but the printer refused to listen. Instead, it suggested we sign up to the free ink option. We didn't want the free ink option, we wanted the printer to print, but because it didn't print, we agreed to the free ink option, thinking that if we gave it what it wanted, it would give us what we wanted. It did not. We printed out over a dozen sheets of paper and got nowhere. Then we got frightened about asking it again, suspecting it would just duplicate the pages already printed and we wouldn't be any wiser. A lot of swearing happened next and some door slamming. In technical terms, the lovely place became emotionally dysregulated before retiring to bed, resolving that the next day they would try again in a calm and measured way. That did not happen, as overnight Hewlet Packard sent us lots of emails about the 6 months of free ink and paper offer and told us this:
Do not turn off the printer.
because if it gets turned off, it won't be able to tell when the ink is running out and send us more. So, in order to get free ink and paper, we have to pay more in electricity and leave a machine that hardly gets used turned on 24/7? Seriously? Not even Elon Musk leaves appliances on standby anymore. Always, always, always turn them off at the wall. Does Hewlett Packard know about global warming, faulty smart meters, and the skyrocketing fuel prices?
We turned the printer off and went to work and used our work printer to do the job we thought we could have done at home. Hence the reason this printer has been reviewed by puppets.
The feedback email from Hewlett Packard was the final straw, and we decided to reply to each question with, "See my video on YouTube." In summary, 5 tips for top printer design. Number 1. All printers should have interchangeable, refillable, universal ink cartridges. Changing printer ink cartridge design is like having different charge points for phones, a colossal environmental waste. Number 2, no printer should be a top loader, as the paper invariably sags, gets covered in dust, which tracks inside the machine and eventually blocks it up. Number 3, if you can do contactless payments, you should be able to do contactless printers. We want a printer that you plug into the mains, that recognises nearby appliances and prints whatever the appliances want. Basically, a printer for idiots and buffoons. Number 4, we also want printers we can unplug, pack them back in their box and put away until the next time we want to use them, so they don't take up space and get covered in dust in between jobs. And number 5, finally, make printers that you can repair from recyclable materials that you can also reuse. Or we will simply all stop buying your printers and take all our printing needs into our places of work and print them off there. Who will be the losers then? That's it for now, folks. Thanks so much for watching to the end. If you enjoyed this film, or even if you just want to see more of the puppets, please subscribe to the Lovely Place channel. Bye for now.